okay. Um, I just got cut off. I was in my prime. As he removes his false teeth. Well, you got to laugh. You got to laugh. Anyway, I went into, before I got cut off, I was talking about how my sobriety had been put under pressure. Somebody reported me for a hate crime. I was asked to go to two cops came to my door, more or less forced their way in, foot in the door and all that stuff. And up to the station, under pressure. Don't want to be put in a cell. 67 years of age with a serious back problem, painkillers and all that stuff. And these cops, they kind of put the frighteners on you, don't they? And oh yeah, well we're going to have to interview you. Then we'll have to put you in a cell, consider the interview, and then bring you back out with a judgment or conclusion about something you won't tell me I've been charged with, other than it's an alleged hate crime. You know, we could all go about alleging things, but you get any evidence? No, we can't discuss that. Well, you can't discuss the evidence against me, but you can put me in prison for it. That's astonishing. For those of you who wanted to see what's written on the cup, it says, "Hello, handsome." Can't remember who would say that. So yeah, it's this is kind of frightening things that they do with you. Thankfully, the desk sergeant saw through it and just said, "Well, okay, fair enough. Off you go. Don't think we'll be seeing you again." That's what he said. But since then, there's been they took my phone. I need my phone to operate as a one-man band taxi driver. So my phone's essential. They took my phone last Friday, and they claimed that I wouldn't give them the password. So that's why they're having to hold on to them. You never asked me for the password, mate. Oh yes, we did. Well, we've got it all on video, so yeah. And you're going to show me the video? No. Yeah. Unless, of course, you get some good advice from the internet. There's a there's a website being put up by a guy who suffered the same stuff. Fair Cop, it's called, and that was fascinating. So they've given me this subject access request. Bear that in mind. Hopefully, we don't get cut off again. Subject access request. However long that'll take as well. So I eventually got to talk to a sergeant who's in charge. Of course, they're on night shift. Right, to get in touch with them. How did he get in touch with me? What? Is there somebody there who deals with this stuff? Oh, well, I eventually spoke to this sergeant. He was quite an amenable guy. The previous one wasn't. But better be careful what I say. I might be charged by a hate crime. And, okay. You wouldn't give us your password? Yes, I would. No problem with that. Well, okay. So I gave him my password. So hopefully that'll be sorted because all they'll do is look up the date of this incident and say, is there any video on this? No, right, okay. Because there isn't. And this strange little person is the best way I would describe this little person. Got upset with me. Kind of snowflake type who are taking over the world. But relax. A judge, High Court judge, made a decision only a couple of weeks ago with the guy who set up this Fair Cop thing that it was a whole load of rubbish, and we're not going back into, we're not living in an Orwellian state, and it's not the Stasi or the Gestapo anymore. And he threw the case out. So that's a huge landmark for this kind of situation and these snowflakes. You know? Like, a woman with a 5 o'clock shadow. Mm, yeah. No, no. Man's a man and woman's a woman. That's okay. I'm entitled to my opinion. Does that offend somebody? Will you charge me with a hate crime? This is how crazy it is. And this, but my recovery allows me to be here. Without my recovery, I'd be in a pub telling everybody about it. Telling everybody about it. Uh, here I am, talking about it in a controlled fashion. Hopefully the sergeant can get my phone back as soon as possible. But you don't know. You don't know. The guy on this site that I was talking about, Faircroft, it took him 3 months to get his information about his subject access request. 3 months. Wow. What did he do? You know, just whole world's gone mad. And we need judges like that, judges and guys like him uh, to be there. And the guy went through a lot. Through a lot mentally and emotionally. And I recognise that now. I don't see that as being a weakness. So I recognise the pain the guy was in. It reminds me of a wee guy I was talking to, a wee top dog in the city in the Isle of Dogs, down by Canary Wharf. You know, and he was a wee kind of high up guy. And he was in I ended up talking to him. Something went beep. What went beep? I ended up talking to him, and I remember this was years ago. Oops. This is a making of a message or something. Oops. What's that? Oh, right. This phone. I've got a temporary phone thing here. It's got mine of its phone. Yeah, and I was explaining something to him about, and rarely do I do this. And so there must be something in the conversation that brought up the murder of my son. And he says, "Well, I feel, yeah, he was doing a counselling course. That's right. He's only just in AA and he's off doing a counselling course." He says, "Oh, I feel your pain." I said, "What?" "I feel your pain. Have you ever had somebody close to you murdered?" "No." "How the fuck do you feel my pain?" And I told him to fuck off. Prat. How much damage he's caused over the years? It's easy 10 years ago, easy 10 years. How much damage he's caused? God only knows. He is full of these counsellors stroke. Counsellor stroke what? What is the name for these people? My getting old, 67, full of painkillers, not thinking straight. But yeah, his the person in AA that you get to help you sponsor. I think I've got a mental block with that word sponsor. It's disgusting, shocking, shocking business. And so this is what he thought. Yeah, I'm a sponsor. I'm talking sponsor. The worst example of a sponsor, a wee woman came to me. She was in a treatment centre, and the guy who worked in the treatment centre recommended that she comes to me to get the program and not the treatment centre. So she came to me, God bless her, wee cotton socks, and she got upset. I said, "What are you upset about?" She said, "Well, they told me that if I resent somebody, I have to go and make amends to them." I said, "Oh, yeah. Well, why are you getting upset at that?" She said, "Well, my father abused me, sexually abused me as a child. And they told me I have to go and make amends to them. And that's why I relapsed." Three women relapsed. Could have died. Because some genius had told us. I immediately told her that's complete and utter rubbish. Ooh, which kind of, whoa. Wait a minute. Lots of things that you can feel resentful for. Lots of things are justifiable, like the guy who murdered my son. So don't fuck me with this kind of stuff. Once again, I swear when I'm upset. That's normal, that's natural. And I don't wish to offend anyone. And I don't like doing it, but I just get so upset. Yeah. And this person gave this wee woman that advice. This sponsor. Disgusts me. I've never come across anyone. Even the guy who helped me with the programme was pretty. With the best will in the world, a nice man, but useless. But he did one thing. He took me through the steps as they were in the book eventually. Eventually. It's kind of interesting where I'm going with this. Start off with one thing and then end up. But it's all to do with AA, it's all to do with the programme, it's all to do with me being able to deal with pressures such as this, which would normally lead to me drinking. And wow, this is fucking miracle. He didn't drink? No. Quite a few things have happened in the past 27 years. One guy I knew said, I was just amazed you hadn't drank. The situation between my ex-wife and my children at the time, and how she abused me and abused my children. But if you spoke to her today about it, she said, no, he just, all that rationalisation and justification. When the truth is, it was all about money. And that's the scene she had to create to justify, to rationalise and justify. Yeah. So this remarkable programme, and what it's taught me and how to deal with things, and the stuff that I've been through in sobriety. A bit of an adventure. She took my kids from me for 10 months, which really hurt me, really hurt me. And God, I couldn't explain just how bad that was. And the dreadful stuff that she got, the lies that she told. All because her mother left her 100,000 quid as her part of this house that she had. And she didn't want to share it with me. So she sabotaged it. Do whatever you want to me. I can handle it. Don't hurt my children. And she's done so. And I'll never forgive her for that. Yeah. And that's a justifiable resentment. So hopefully that makes shows you the difference. And if your sponsor's telling you this kind of nonsense, get rid of your sponsor. And anyway, the word sponsor. Where does the word sponsor come from? Where does it originate? I don't think it's mentioned in the first edition of the Big Book. I think it crops up in the second edition. I'm not exactly a professor on it. But what is a sponsor? Somebody who's considered to, well, they take you through the steps and then they help you for however long they help you. It's kind of vague. They're not exactly experienced in counselling and therapy. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be perfectly honest. Some of the therapists I've met. And, so it's rather vague, the origins of these sponsors. But what's it say in the Big Book? The Big Book. Oh, everything's in the Big Book. Everything. 27 years, 25. I've realised and learned so much every time when I go to that book. What does the Big Book say about this sponsorship? Nothing actually. Certainly not in the first 103 pages, which is where the 12-step recovery programme is. That's it, done. You know, anything else is anything else. First 103 pages, job done. I don't think it mentions sponsor, the word sponsor. once. But it does mention a man, stroke woman, on page 18, the ex-problem drinker, who's found his solution, who's in possession of the facts about himself, can generally win the confidence. Wow, wait a minute, whoa, pull back. Ex-problem drinker, he's not got a problem anymore. We drink. All right, pretty cool. Who's found this solution? A spiritual experience. All right, spiritual, to be in spirit, to be inspired, to be inspired. That's the best definition of the word spiritual. And who's in possession of the facts about himself? Lots of questions. Like, how did he manage to get in possession of the facts about himself? He took the steps. Well, simple as that. Yeah. Simple as that. No more, no less. Took the steps and practiced 10 and 11 until it became intuitive. We will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle us. I just love that. If you practice something often enough, it'll just come natural to you, just go automatic. Like driving your car, riding your bike, you know. You don't even think about it. That's recovery, by God. That's recovery. And you don't have to practice it. And why do you have to practice when you're good enough? So this is this man. Without whom little or nothing can be achieved. Remember, 1934, 35, Bill W., Dr. Bob got together, started up meetings, developed this program, noticed that people were messing about with it, so they decided they'd have to write a book to preserve it. 1939, I think that was. They created it within a year, and to all intents, as far as I can gather, they were scared, but they managed it. Try and tell me there's no God. A bunch of ex-drunks who screwed up and took off, who would have argued where to put a full stop, created this book within a year. And it's a masterpiece. Wow. And here they are, offering it to us. So this person can generally win the confidence of another alcoholic within a couple of hours. And the man making this approach, this is all page 18. The man making this approach should have, no holier than thou attitude, and can help you through the program. I can go get the book and read it for you line for line. It should be lying about somewhere. Lying about. There you go. All right. So step one, identify the problem. Who did? They did. How did they do that? Read the first 3 chapters. All right. Step 2, came to believe that power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Came to believe. Who did? They did. How did they do that? Questions again. Read chapter 4. But read the first paragraph in chapter 4 because it sums the whole deal up, basically, because most people know that they're powerless and just not had it worded to them. So they ask you to paraphrase, but 2 questions. When you want to stop, can you? This is having taken 3 chapters to talk about the problem of the powerlessness, basically. So when you want to stop, can you? No. When you start, can you control the amount you drink? No. Guarantee when you're finished. That's my little idol. No. I mean, that's an alcoholic. And if you have any doubts about that, off you go. Come back when you're ready, because you're not ready. You're not ready. That's it. And that's AA's attitude. And everything, the wonder of these people is they recognise we cannot tell these alcoholics what to do because they're alcoholics, they're adult children, and they will get angry and they will rebel against it. Yeah, dead right. Hmm. You remember? Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Nobody knew anything except me. So we cannot tell them what to do. What we can do is tell them what we done and invite them to follow our path. That is a huge, huge example of wisdom from a bunch of extras. Wow, blows me away. Blows me away. So they're inviting you to follow their path. If you want what we've got and you're willing to go to any lengths, then you're ready to take certain steps, not any old steps, certain steps. Like the wee guy on Monday night, horrible wee person, drunk along for 27 years. I don't agree with step one. What? Fuck off and go and do your own step one. And just unbelievable. And he talked about his sponsees. Anytime you ever hear anybody talking about their sponsees, rubbish them. These people just love this idea. And as if they exist. I mean, the guy could possibly be psychotic and just making the whole thing up and dropping in these little funnies and all that. And the secretary, she claims to be 30 years sober and she only started drinking alcoholically when she was 30 because she had an accident and she was given some alcohol to calm her down. And pow, there you go. She became an alcoholic. Never experienced that one. And she's the one who holds kangaroo courts for people like me. So that's what I had to deal with last Monday night. So I'm trying to get my head back together with these the cops and things like that, which is another story. I'm getting a bit confused because I started off doing this and then the computer collapsed and crashed. And, so I've had to start again. So I'm not quite sure what I've added, what I've missed. But anyway, if we stick to the book, we won't go far wrong. But you've got these people in AA who think they're sober and who are still doing drunkalogs after 30 years and laughing about it. And, this Scottish bloke comes back and says, nothing funny about it. Nothing remotely funny about it. Oh, look at him, he's a spouse. No, there's just nothing funny about it. I used to think it was funny as well. When I first came in as a newcomer, nobody had a clue what to do with a newcomer. I didn't know they didn't have a clue. I just survived it. Sadly, most people don't survive that. That's the reason why I'm doing this video. To try and help save people from AA. I've got an AA meeting. I'm doing a chair tonight. A chair, hey! I used to do them regularly. We put out the grass. But, and I'll tell them exactly what the programme is. Don't come back on me. If you're coming back on me, you're coming back on the book. And if you're coming back on the book, you shouldn't be here. On your bike. See you later. If you want this programme. So we need this guide on page 18. This is essential, without whom little or nothing can be achieved. Another drink of my tea, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Hello, handsome. I have to keep my ego in control because I end up start performing. Because it's a bit too serious for that. So that's it. Admitted they're powerless. They need a power, obviously. People who wrote the book found the power. Do you want to follow that path? Step 3, basically. Simple enough. Well, what's the first question an alcoholic's going to ask? How long is it going to take? Good old alky, you know? How long is it going to take? I'm kind of looking distracted, but I'm not really. Yeah, how long is it going to take? According to the book, it's going to take you 2 days to take steps 4 to 9. What? You cannot be serious. I've been in AA for 18 months, nearly 2 years, and I've never heard that. I concluded that the programme was in the big book and the steps were in the 12 and 12. It's the only way I can make any sense of it. Like a child. Like a child. Don't forget, I was a child. Trying not to forget. That's really important. And John Charlie helped a bit with that. In fact, I suppose if it was for John Charlie, me being in the right place at the right time, blah, 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 I might not be here. Because they touched on something, they triggered something. I don't agree with everything John Charlie said, but they triggered something, and that was remarkable. Listen, here, 25 years later, talking to you guys and constructively criticising Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, and you're being judgmental. Am I not just being constructively critical? But you don't know what constructive criticism is because you're an alcoholic and you're a dry drunk, and you don't ever consider that possibility. It's either completely that way or completely that way. No middle ground with you people. Innocent or guilty with no evidence. And there's those extremes that we alcoholics, we try, even the dry drunks I'm talking about, because 90% of the people in AA are dry drunks, like the wee guy in Monday night, laughing about stuff that's not funny, telling wee jokes, not funny. Get serious, talk about a programme that he doesn't agree with, not funny. How could you possibly have been through these steps when you're criticising it? That's great. My stomach was churning. I managed to share, but I really found it hard to keep gripping myself because I really just wanted to blast them verbally, I think. No, I couldn't do it just now physically. There was a time. But there you go. This is all leading up to me today. So I've made the decision to turn my life and my will over to the care of God as I understand God, which, because of the first 4 chapters, I've got reasonable, probably had a decent understanding before I even started, but there you go. They cater for everybody. No stone is left unturned. Fascinating. Bunch of ex-drunks, remember? Screwed up 2 cars in a row. Argued where to put a full stop. That was my wee attitude. And it's so true. Isn't it so true? Yeah. And here I am. I'm on the threshold of a new life, making the decision to turn my life and my will over to the care of God as I understand God. How did I do that? 12 steps, 12 statements of fact, based on the experience of the people who wrote the book. And every step begs a question. How did they do it? And every question is answered in the first 103 pages of that book. Fact, not my opinion. That's why nobody ever comes back on me, because I deal with facts. So there we are. Made the decision to turn over. Question: how did they do that? Yeah, I practice step 3 every day. I do step 2 every day. I do step 1 every day. I remember you guys doing that. I've only ever done step 1. Oh dear. But what can you do? Stick to the book. So they've made the decision to turn their life and their will over to the care of God as they understand God, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the strength to carry that out. That's it. That's step 3 done. It's a decision. So how do we do it? We launch out. How did they do it? They launched out. Well, maybe I could include myself in there. Maybe we's okay. 27. Yeah, you never know. Quite a nice place to be. Who made the decision? They did. Well, how did you carry out that decision? What action does it take? There's a whole chapter into action. Wow. personal house cleaning, first part of which we launched out on a course of vigorous action. Launched, you're not coming back. And vigorous, exactly that, vigorous. Has to be vigorous. You can't drag things out, okay. They get bored, they get distracted, they lose patience. And it's astonishing. It's some of the tragic stories that you hear people talking. My sponsor says this, what does it say in the book? Oh, but my sponsor. Oops. Somebody at the door. Hold on a second. The maid of the cops. I need a delivery bag. Have a nice life. This is ridiculous. I'm coming back. It was a delivery. A delivery. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Yeah, first part of which is launching out a course of vigorous action, personal house cleaning, moral inventory, moral looking for the truth. Right, page 65. They give you an example of it, very simple example. Write down a list of people you resent, you feel when you think about them. We're good at that. We're very good at that. And the cause, on the part affected. I wasn't too sure about it. Bear in mind, let me remind you that I'm a 10-year-old child. I don't know it at this point. I don't know at all. But I'm a 10-year-old child. So, where was I selfish? No, sorry. What had happened to me? What had been affected? Personal relations, sexual relations, money, stuff like that. All right. Okay. So, I've done each column separately so that I didn't end up getting halfway down the page and going back and editing something else because of something else. Don't get involved in that. And don't write out big long stories, just little buzzwords, because you're going to discuss it with the man afterwards. Okay, fine. So I've got a list of that. I don't know, I think I've done about 90, which is pretty thorough, I suppose. Well, it is pretty thorough because I've taken hundreds of people through this program. It's pretty decent amount. Although Joan Charlie said that about the averages on, so maybe I tried for it subconsciously. Anyway, does no harm. Does no harm. And so I've got all these people that I resent, feeling of resent. And then there's institutions that I resent. Well, I got brought up in poverty, so the institutions were quite involved. Social services and the dole money and unemployment and all of that dreadful stuff, My father pegged out when I was 10 years of age, drunk. Mother left with 5 kids, widow. 2 years later, she has twins to some character who buggered off. There's a fucking idiot woman. I mean, there's no way of describing her. She's a fucking idiot. And, if she had any thought or consideration for her children, she would never have ventured into that situation. And that's what idiots do. We try to be nice about it. I didn't love her. She didn't love me. She didn't love any of us. She wasn't capable of it. She was given the magic drug in the mid-60s. Valium. Yeah, it was Valium. And it just blew her mind. It blew my mind through this song. And we didn't know. She didn't know. We're not talking about blame here. We're talking about responsibility. So there was none of that stuff going on, love and whatever. There was always stress and pressure and shocking. And she ends up having another 2 fucking kids. Get a grip. I would have been better off being put in care. I would have been better off being put in care. That's a fact. And there she is. Such a tragedy. It's a modern day tragedy. This is the 60s. We never had it so good, according to our so-called Prime Minister at the time. So yeah, institutions. Principles. I didn't know what that meant. But I was confident enough in this wee man. He won my confidence, so I was able. I wasn't worried about sharing my ignorance. And he explained it to me. Principles, rules in life that you don't like. So just to be simple. You know? I don't like taxing my car. I don't like paying rent. I don't like paying tax. Lots of things I don't like in this world. And these are the principles. So you list the principles, you're like, it takes a bit of time, but not that much. You've got to bear in mind that I've been told that this is a slog and this is it, and you practice 12 steps every day, and you know. And here I am, 2 or 3 hours later, more or less completed my step 4 inventory. So I hung it out a little bit, added little bits to it, which probably most people would identify with. We considered it carefully, me and the man. Page 66. Said, go and look for it. I'm going to do it all for you. Chapter 5. We considered it carefully. We worked out certain things, and we highlighted the people who had wronged us. And at some point, maybe we'd be able to pray for them. Yeah, I wouldn't be praying for the guy who murdered my son, my beautiful son. Professional football player, academic. God knows where he got it from. God knows where he got it. Certainly wasn't. Yeah, was it me? I went to grammar school. Maybe. Football skills, possibly. It was in the family. His mother? No. No. I think I'm still kind of in touch with her to this day, to a certain degree. And that's the best way to describe it. It's a loud mouth bigot. Whose 16-year-old son was murdered, so maybe we can make excuses for her. Yeah, and we won't judge her. We'll try and be constructively critical, but that will be taken as being judgmental. So it's very difficult to deal with people such as us because they don't like being constructively criticised. The opposite of being judgmental, John? Constructively critical. I've been doing that for the past 25 years. Causes riots. Well, because they're all dry homes. The vast majority of them are dry homes. Guaranteed that I'll do this chair tonight, and I doubt there will be one person who's got a clue what I'm talking about as far as recovery is concerned in the steps. Because it's all to do with the book. Some of them might panic. Well, I never get told that what you're saying. Have I done it wrong? Oh, yes. You bad guidance. Oh, shoot down the messenger. Ah, right, okay. I know that. But here's this beautiful program. I've identified the people, places, and things. You say, what does that mean? This is it. Moronic stuff they talk about in these rooms. It becomes popular, you know, because a few people laughed at it. And the idiot who's saying it in these drunkalog chairs that they do, he's doing these little tour of the groups, and it's now becoming popular. And we just laughed. The book directs me. Sometimes I have to pray for willingness to forgive these people. And I've now understood the people who acted towards me because they just were not nice people, or the people who reacted towards me because of me, because I was an adult behaving like a child, which freaks people out. And I didn't know it. I didn't know it. It's bizarre. I can see myself so clearly now. But then, So that upset quite a few people. And if I ever get the opportunity, I'll make direct amends to them. No problem. No problem. But it was never as, I don't think it was as bad as I thought it was, because we tend to exaggerate things, don't we? But this is remarkable what Stepful was showing up for me. Oh my God. So that shouldn't have happened to me as a child. No. And I shouldn't have done that. No. Oh, wow. And I've done 90 odd names, so there's a lot of stuff there. A lot of stuff. Fearless and thorough. Yeah, quite definitely. Quite definitely. Wow. I'm reliving it as I'm talking to you, and it's just blows me away that this bunch of ex-drunks created this. And here I am having a spiritual experience, and I don't even know I'm having a spiritual experience. I'm inspired. Wow. So now I kind of know the difference. Yeah. When I know people who I upset, and yeah. And I have to try and forgive these ones who acted towards me, because they're just not nice people. But then I have to go back to the list. I have to set aside. I have to look for my part. Where was I at fault? What was my mistake? Who did I harm? All right, fine. So I've done that. I'll give you any details for that, but that's it. From that comes a harms list. Oh, well, good. We'll get to that step 8. All right. So that's that. Yeah. Then I have to look at my fears, not just what I'm frightened of, what I'm fearful of. There's a huge difference. I mean, I'm frightened of barking dogs and dogs run about. Yeah, I'm frightened. I'm intimidated by them. Frightened. So that's okay. But there's other stuff. I'm frightened of flying. Don't like flying. One, because I'm in an enclosed area with people, and people are just horrible to be. There's no escape. Well, there's no escape from them. And I've suffered from that all my life, actually, because my mother suffered from it. Drove her mad, actually, in the end. I believe it was the main reason for her thought breakdown. She died a few years back. She was in her 80s, and I think she got some peace and quiet in the last few years of her life. But she passed it on to me. If you can't, what's it they say? If you can't beat them, join them. Couldn't do anything about it, so I just became like her. Because you're not allowed to criticise your mummy and dad. So I became like her. Thus, as there was a barking dog outside, continually barking, it would drive me mad. I would quite gladly kill it. But not now. I just go away, jump in my car and drive to a meeting or go somewhere. Just get away from it. Thankfully, that rarely occurs. But how many times when I was drinking did those situations? Karma. You go. So that's the overall tragedy in that case. You inherit this stuff as a child. Life is an illness, and you contract it as a child. Wow. I know exactly what that means. So do most alcoholics who have experienced what I've experienced. Yeah. Thank God for God. Thank God it's not just 10 years. And I'm always there with my 10 years, by the way. So this is a remarkable journey. Awakenings. This man's house, nice quiet place again to do my stuff. And wow. So I think it's page 76. Bottom of page 75. So me and the man have discussed this step 4 on this list. And yeah, sorted stuff out. Cut out the ducking and diving and the rationalisation of it. Oh well, if that hadn't, right, cut it. Right, okay, fine. I return home. Well, they returned home. Returning home. All right. So you've been somewhere. Yeah, I've been to the man's house. Oh, right. And you've taken steps 4, 5. Yes. Keep up. Keep up. I have a look at it and I consider it carefully. Am I satisfied? Sand and cement and mortar and all that to build this arch through which I will walk a free man. This is having come home and sat down for an hour and contemplated things. Right, so I've made this. So I've been satisfied. Page 76 brings us to step 6. And basically, right, so you've identified all this stuff. Are you willing to go out and sort it out, basically? Yeah, yeah, very clear. I've got to go and make amends to these people. But there's some, you know, at that time it was the guy who murdered my son. I've still had a bit of a dilemma with it. If for some you're not too sure you're having difficulty letting go of, hey, that's okay. We've got the step 7 prayer for you. And you just say that on a daily basis and still until it is removed. All right, so that's step 7. So you don't practice. You just say a prayer. If you want to say that, practice it. Ask for God to remove it. Whatever God you, whatever. It's that simple. Oh. And then we continue. You don't stop. You don't stop. I'll practice these 12 steps every day. God, to heal these people. They shouldn't be in an AA meeting. AA meeting shouldn't be allowing it. But there they are. Yeah. Keep coming back. Why? To listen to you. To listen to Happy Guy on Monday night. Doing a drunkalog after 25 years. Sure. There's no ambiguity in my response to that. Because there can't be. I wouldn't be being true to myself. And you never know who I might have helped. But I just had some aquatherapy, so I was feeling a bit down and a bit tired, weak. Maybe I shouldn't have gone. But it didn't detract from what I was saying. Certainly didn't detract from what he was saying. I had no control over that. But these are the people that you meet. And I keep harping back, especially this wee guy, because he's been at this for 25 years since he first met me. And she, this secretary, is no different. She led the kangaroo court. Oh, talk about being in the lion's den. I have no problem with it when I'm fit physically and there's painkillers and all that. I have no problem with it at all. I have no fear because I'm talking about it's a book that I'm talking about, not me. Wow. So we've got to then move on to let's have a look at steps 8 and 9. It says page 76. So we've dealt with step 6 at the top of the page, step 7 at the bottom of the first paragraph. Step 8. Made a list of people we had harmed. Oh God, more rain. I was a bit knackered. Made a list of people. We done it when we took inventory. Oh yeah, I took inventory and said, well, that's right. Whom have I harmed? Oh, right. Oh, good. I don't have to do any more writing. Number of people I've helped. I'm on step 8. What do you mean you're on step 8? Read the step. You can't be on step 8. If you follow the clear-cut precise instructions, you've already got a list made in the past tense. First 9 steps are in the past tense, which is good interest. I remember telling the guy that, well, my sponsor said it. Right. So he believed his sponsor, even though it was there, black and white, not his sponsor, fucking wrong. You know, they have this bizarre loyalty towards this person. Simply because I'm grateful that they took them on. They took me on. They valued me. They took me on. Oh, I'll worship them to the day I die. That's, these sponsors have got so much responsibility and abusing it. Unbelievable. I've only met two men like me in 25 years. That's me and the man who took me through the programme. That's tragic. How sad can that be? Clear cut, precise instructions. Simple. Follow the clear cut, precise instructions. A book of instructions. Wee Laurie reckons it's a book of that's rubbish. It's a book of suggestions, says Laurie. 35 years sober. Journalist, man of words. Okay, Laurie, if it's a book of suggestions, $64,000 question, Laurie. What the fuck is it suggesting? What's it suggesting? It's suggesting that you follow the clear-cut, precise instructions. What? Clear-cut, precise instructions. Instruction being the operative word. It is a book of instruction. I wasn't fit that night when I encountered them. I wasn't fit at all. They decided to have a meeting at the top floor and I had to climb up all the steps and just... but there was wee Laurie coming. There's a book of suggestions. Of course, being the idiot that he is, the educated idiot, they know who they're dealing with and they're not going to tell you to do it because you will regale against that. You don't fucking tell me what to do. So what they do is they suggest. And then when you take up the invitation to follow their path, if you want what we've got and they're willing to go to any lengths, then you're ready to take certain steps. Then they start to instruct you. I do hope you get to listen to this, Laurie, because you've got to where you're at 30 years and you're an educated, a man of words, and yet you still make that basic error. Wow. Have you actually read this book? Could you actually falling apart in seams? Putting a lot of weight because of my lack of mobility with my back. Wow. So here we are. A book of instructions. Follow the instructions. Clear cut, precise instructions. So there's no need for anything else. There's clear cut, precise instructions. Oh, but my sponsor says it. Don't care. He's entitled to his opinion. But it's on the book. It's there. And they don't elaborate on it. They just keep it simple. Basic. So there you go. Long and winded way to talk about step 8, which is just basically you've made a list. All right. Step 9, went out and made amends to people. What can I say? Just be careful. You know, don't go to your next door neighbour and apologise to him for having an affair with his wife 5 years ago. Because he won't like it. And it'll cause more damage. It's his whole thing. So the man said, right, off you go. Have a look at that and then come back and see me tomorrow. And we'll discuss 6, 7, 8, 9, which we did, especially 9. And basically work out who you need to make an amends to. And then discuss it with me. Which I'd like to say I'd done it well, but I didn't. Because step 4 and 5 had blown me away. I thought that was it. Most people make that mistake. Most people ignore the step 10. Continue to take inventory. When we were wrong, promptly admitted it. I remember saying to the man, I'm too busy to do this step 10. Too busy. This is a man who told me about my language at the meeting. He used to use the C word, the way the F word. The C word's used in Scotland the way the F word's used down here. They don't use the C word down here in England. Because it was really offensive. But I didn't. Something about offending people. Unbelievable. Why they put the whole mess of my life simply because of basic things like this. And I was doing it in the rooms. Yeah, that's see this and that's see that, and you know, and of course it's aggressive because that's the way I put it across. You know, growling because that's the way my mother used to be with me because she couldn't hear because she had her ears plugged up with tissue, toilet tissue, if there was any toilet tissue. Let's not go into the poverty of that. And so when you spoke to her, she screwed her face up. What? I'm only a child in the world. Why are you doing that? What did I do wrong for you to screw your face up like that? Never a smile. Never a smile. What is that, darling? My daughters were spared that. Sadly, I couldn't do with my sons. It's all very sad. It's not easy. It's not easy. Especially when you go to AA meetings and they call you a big thump. What else would they be thumping? They're giving up thumping people. Step Nazi. Oh my God. Imagine anybody using that terminology. If you're calling somebody a step Nazi, you don't have a program. None of them put their hands up and admit to it. But I just wonder how many will be there tonight. Because it's treatment centre land I'm going to. Oh, into the land of the devils. And they've all got their own ideas and their own treatment centre. Throw me nice treatment centre. No interest in me. This is Alcoholics Anonymous. So, whilst I'm doing that, I continue. Not hanging about here. Yeah. One guy says, I'm doing my step 10. I'm doing my step 9. I'm making my amends. What is that going to take? So, I don't know. So, when are you going to start doing your step 10? When I finish my making amends. This is what he was led to believe. And all you have to do is point it in the book. Page 76, 77. And they believe it because the sponsor says, these sponsors don't make mistakes. Shocking. If there's somebody out there listening to this could maybe suggest a more fruitious, that's a good word, fruitious, a more productive way of sharing what I'm sharing, maybe I could be doing me a wee bit of direction there. Maybe not. I've taken a lot of people through the program, so I've just been put out to grass. I'm old-fashioned, marginalised, sidelined, step Nazi. No, you cannot have a program and call somebody a step Nazi. That's just a given. You cannot have that. What program are you practicing, pal? I said that to a guy once. Call me a step Nazi. I said, a minute. Step Nazi, yeah. What program are you practicing? Yeah. And off they go. And they don't want to hang about. They just want to say whatever they want to say and then run away. You're like children. Just like children. Adult children are bizarre. Okay, so that's that sorted. Step 10. Continue to take personal inventory. So it's not a moral inventory now, looking for the truth. It's now a personal inventory of what's happening on a daily basis. Lay it out the same way as you set for. It's the simplest way. You get a feeling of resentment, get it down. I had resentment cause fix. My mistake, whom have I harmed? What parts of fault? Yeah. It's all there in the book. Get your fears done. Oh yeah, the fears. Remember the fears were step 4. Oh, the sexual conduct. I forgot about that in step 4. The fears and the sexual conduct. Or stuff like that. Once again, if I've missed anything, we will find it in the book. Oh, you missed that bit. Oh, right, okay, fine. Yeah. Found fault with them. Yeah. Shouldn't come as a surprise. But once again, as I say, if you're listening to this and you're looking at the book, then It'll be as clear can be. So that's it. I resent the current pipes. My mistake, part of the fault. Who am I armed? If there is any at all, you leave a little gap each time so that when you look back through it, you can say, well, that's 4 or 5 days. I didn't have a feeling of resentment. This is a nice way of doing it. Do them all one line under the other. Just the same as you do your step. That's cool. Gratitude list. What am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? I woke up this morning. It's pretty cool. Phoned the optician. There's been a mistake made with my glasses. So that would have triggered me. Oh, it'll be tomorrow. I would have automatic. Right, okay, 3 o'clock. Right, fine, no problem. No problem. Because my life is reasonably organised in the sense that the old me would have not had any glasses and would have been desperate. But the new me is ahead of the game. You know, I've got a few quid in the bank as well, interestingly enough. Since my life fell apart in 20. God. Ooh, fell apart when my ex-wife walked away with the money and my children. So that was 2000. Another story in that whole adventure. But there's a lot of stuff I think back on. That's cool. I can't forget to give wee Jenny a mention. Jenny was a comfort. Funny wee woman. Funny wee woman. But yeah, she showed up at the right time. It's interesting enough. So that's a nice experience. I'm grateful for that. Grateful for all the people who helped me in that time. And grateful. Lots of stuff just came my way. I ended up living in a caravan, which was kind of interesting. But I don't want to digress because there's a huge adventure in that. It's my daily stuff, my daily inventory, and my personal inventory, my personal diary, and listening stuff, my mistake, stuff like that is reflected in step 4. And the best thing is the gratitude list. Keep on top of the fears and stuff like that. Just keep registering. You'll outgrow them. You'll find that you're not writing them anymore. All right, all right. I've outgrown them. I've got a folder up there going back to 1996. And what I love about it is my gratitude, because that's what 24 years ago. So my children to my second wife were only little, and we had some lovely times. Toured the Mediterranean, Disneyland. For a big kid, you can imagine. Rome, Paris, Rome, Venice, gondola. All of these stuff that I used to dream of as a kid. You know, little kids seeing photographs of stuff and whatever else. I'd say, wow, wonder what that would be like. Milan. It was just kind of past. I had a camper, but what was it? A camper van? It was a trailer tent. Quite a clever wee thing actually. And I got it dirt cheap. Sold it for twice as much as I bought it. Interestingly enough, because I had a car and I had a job as a taxi driver. I had a big Volvo. All of this stuff, all of these gifts of recovery. And off we went on a 3-mile trip, a 3,000-mile trip. And we took in all these places. Nicola and I were later to then go down the Adriatic coast, or whatever it's called, and down through Croatia, and then up through the highlands of Croatia, and down into Greece, and then over into Corfu, which was very poignant. got a photograph of Colin and Martin because we'd been to coffee before. And a photograph of Colin and Martin before Nick and Amy were born. When I was in that relationship. Was it? I don't know. No, it wasn't. I was in that relationship, but just the kids weren't. So that was kind of poignant. And this is all the lovely stuff. And I can be grateful for. I could sit and think of stuff that I'm grateful for just now. Yeah. I've got this computer situation that I can reach out and touch somebody's hand. That's a bit of a mantra. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. Yeah, it's really kind of program oriented. I've not set foot out the door. I've got the meeting tonight to do the chair, which is no problem whatsoever. And fascinating to see how that goes down. Because it's in the Luton treatment centre based town, so there'll be a lot of people at the meet who have these fanciful ideas, and I have to put them in place right away. You know, right away. But it's not considered. I won't be talking about that early. And that's cool. So step 10, in the promises, we will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle us. You know, those dreadful people in AA say, I practice these steps every day. You're doing it wrong. You have it. What's intuitive about that? You're a very sick person carrying a very sick message. I loved the meeting. There was a meeting, there was only a year or so sober, I think, and I'd done hundreds of meetings in those years, those early years, hundreds every year. And I remember, what was it I said? I went to this meeting, and they read out the promises. And I always remember, yeah. But every time I heard them say, we will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle us. Wow. First time I heard that, wow, that's good. Don't ask me why it's good, because I don't know what intuitive means. But that's good. So it's inspirational. Inspired me. Inspirational. Fantastic. You know, later was to find out what intuitive meant, which is basically riding a bike. You just don't forget. You know, you go up in the morning and you go into the toilet and you wash your face. Ablutions, as that we women would say. And just do driving the car, change gear with it. Because you do it so often, and it's the correct thing to do. Wow. So that's what it's all about. Intuitive. So I practice 10 and 11 until it becomes intuitive. Yep. 11. Power getting yourself. I mentioned it earlier, I think, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand God. Praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. I might have misquoted it earlier on the top, or used it in the wrong place. Step 3, I think. Made the decision to turn on life. That's step 3. Who did? People who wrote the book. Everything's about who did. Every step begs a question. Yeah. Step 11. Sort through prayer and meditation. Prayer is prayer, whatever you care it to be. Meditation. I like that meditation term, because we alkies are experts in meditating. The only problem is we meditate on the negative. Oh, I see. But now I'm learning to meditate on the positive. Yes, because everything's in place. Step 4 and 5 did it. And so you're in a position to do that. Meditate, to think deeply. And if you're thinking deeply about good stuff, fantastic. If you're thinking deeply about bad stuff, you're an alcoholic. Most probably. Few exceptions in my experience, because that's all I've got is my experience, based on 27 years. You don't have to believe me, that's perfectly fine. But there's one thing you cannot contend. You cannot contest what I've been saying about this book. That's all I need to do. That's all I need to do. It's not my stuff, it's their stuff. This is what they done. This is how they recovered. The one where they've got, yeah, right, okay, fine. So, as I've discussed, steps 49, bingo. 2 days. 2 days, steps 49. It's not psychotherapy. Practice 10, 11. And that's good, you know, and especially what I'm grateful for. And from 1996. Wow, that's pretty good. For a guy who had difficulty initially doing it. I have no time to do it. Plenty of time for drinking, John. I think I've already said that, but it's worth repeating. You know, hey, you've plenty of time for drinking, pal. You've no time to do a step 10. Cut it out. Which was an admonition of me, and nice and gentle, soft-spoken Irishman. Although he did try to kill me. You have to study the book first, John. What? I just want to go through these steps. I don't want to study it. Almost killed me. That's a whole load of crap, by the way. So if you're one of those so-called sponsors who tells people they've got to study the book, show me where it says it in the book. Show me where it says it. And don't go jumping down 14 chapters to find some vague reference to it. Where in the first 103 pages does it say that? It doesn't. And how long will it take to do this study? 4 pages a day. How many pages is it? 60 odd pages. Something like that. And what's out at 140 odd? 4 pages a day. 140 odd. I could have taken somebody through the, I could have taken 20 people through the program in the time that you're sitting there studying the program. I'll have to do a bit of research on a bit of homework on that, the number of days it they actually give you 4 pages a day, and it's 164 pages, yes. So what that out, that's 41 days when it takes 2 days to take you through the program. And I had to suffer that nightmare. And I couldn't just throw it away because I knew something deep inside me said, you can't do this job. I struggled desperately with it. I've since told them, they just didn't bother, which is shocking. I just want them to apologise for playing fucking Russian roulette with my life. Wasn't forthcoming, which is very sad. So 164, 40 days, 41 days. I could take 20 people through the program in that time. And that's only 1 a day. I could quite easily do 2 a day. That's how simple it is. And here they are saying you have to study the program. Once you've taken the steps, and once you've recovered through 10 and 11, because it's the only 2 steps you can practice, you know, first 9 steps are in the past tense, once they're done, they're done. You never have to come back to them unless, of course, you relapse and resume, or you have the privilege of taking someone through these steps, which I've had many times, hundreds of times. That's a lot of people. Yeah, I kind of dedicated my life to it. I don't think I've got any regrets. I don't think I've got any regrets. Although most people haven't got a clue where you're coming from. most people don't know the program, so I don't get any inspirational conversation, rarely, which is kind of boring and depressing. I'm in an AA meeting, but nobody knows where I'm coming from. So how can they talk to me? They're intimidated by me. They turn that into distrust and criticism. Big thumper, it's not nice. That's the dilemma of the recovered alcoholic. Even the man who took me through the program. I think he's intimidated by me. Wow. Imagine being intimidated. Imagine intimidating people with this message. In the constant battle with so-called sponsors. So there you go. Step 11. That's step 11, step 11. Whatever you feel and deem it to be. Whatever you deem your God to be. Meditation, think deeply. Alcoholics think deeply negative. And the problem with alcoholics, that's the alcoholic's mind. They think deeply. They meditate on the negative. We've now changed it into meditating on the positive. How simple can that be? Thus we become step 12. We carry this message to the still suffering alcoholic and practice these principles in all our affairs. Bingo. Job done. I've got a lot to be proud of. People like me, historically, can I say, struggle and suffer, shooting the messenger and all of that stuff. What is it? I don't know. I think I put in the pretentious heading on this, The Reluctant Messiah. It's a book by Richard Bach. I strongly suggest you read it. It's only a short book. It's down there. Illusions, it's called. Illusions by Richard Bach. Fascinating. And it's all about the reluctant Messiah, because they're all reluctant because they generally end up dead. And in fact, I don't know if there's one survived a Messiah. I know. There you go. So they are reluctant. Yeah, the book's all about the guy who's done his time, he's trying to pass it on to somebody else. It's your turn now. And it's quite amusing. It's I won't spoil it for you. But read it. Illusions by Richard Bach, who also wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which I believe is a very spiritual book. Not sure, but I believe it was by reputation, because I haven't read it. So there you go. 12 steps. Job done. If you're a newcomer, have a good have a listen as best you can. If you're not happy with some of this, go and research some of the stuff I've said. And you'll find that I'm pretty much on the money as far as the program's concerned. And that's not hard. I'm not boasting. It's just not hard. But it is practice. It is practice. And here I am, a worthwhile human being. And managing to overcome the trials and tribulations of daily life. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Something that came to the fore recently was this snowflake, what is it they call it? Hate crimes. Wow. What's a hate crime? It's just when somebody decides that they want to complain about you. So they say it's a hate crime. And then the cops have to come and they have to investigate on an allegation. And it came to the fore last week when a judge made a decision in favour of a guy who was charged with a hate crime and just threw it out unreservedly. Basically total rubbish. And I'm not going to entertain it. So he took it. And this guy decided that he was going to set up a website to help other people. Tens of thousands who are frightened and scared. And Orwell, read George Orwell. I can't read it, it's too depressing. It's too depressing. What's the name of that book again? George Orwell, 1984. It is so depressing. even the movie was depressing. But I know what it's about. So if you want to know what it is to live in an Orwellian society or a Nazi society, or Stasi, the East German mob, that mob, private police and all that stuff. That's what this stuff's leading to, except for this judgment, which is basically thrown out of the window. Now you can say freedom of speech, you say whatever you want to say. And that's it, done. Job done. And guaranteed somebody's at this moment in time is trying to take out a legal challenge on that. And back to the beginning, don't know if it was in this, my aborted attempt to this earlier on, but it won't be long before you go into an AA meeting and somebody gets arrested for a hate crime because he said something at a meeting that somebody didn't like. And it'll probably be me. You criticised my sponsor. Yeah. He said this and that hurt my feelings. Yeah. And these cops have to go and then interview you, question you, and even charge you. I know this through experience. I won't bore you with it. But hopefully I didn't bore you at the beginning. So to make things clear, I started off doing the video and it shut down, the computer crashed and I had to restart it. So being 67 years of age and memory not that good. But the gist of this program, the accurate gist of this program is what I discussed in those first texts, in those the first in this 12-step recovery program, and how simple it is. And everything I refer to the book, I make reference to the book. This is not my opinion. Bunch of ex-drunks who are screwed up at two calves who would have argued where to put a full stop. That is astonishing. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to that. And it's for me as well, to make me feel a bit better. So I hope you get something from it. And feel free to ask any questions if you can get in touch with me. I believe you can. Pretty much an amateur at this, you've no doubt noticed. So I'm now going to end the stream, it says. So click on the button. Bye bye.